Morning. Bit of love for the Bullet today. We're going to be doing a bit of maintenance, replacing the cups on the drop drag link. We're going to pull the drop drag link out, and using the Roadrunner repair kits, we're going to fix it up, get all that free play out. I wouldn't normally do this with a wheel off, this mod or this maintenance, but just for making the video, the purpose of that is so now that drop drag link, the old drop drag link's out, and we're going to have a close look at it. Now this day and age, not many of the comp trucks are running, or not many of the Hilux comp trucks are running conventional steering. They've all opted to go high steer, which I've had in the past. I've also broken it in the past. So we've got our weakest parts on the vehicle that we know. When we're on the trail, we can pretty much get it going again. So just a rundown on the conventional setup. From the steering wheel to the box, we've got the pitman arm. Now that pitman arm is linked to the J-arm by the drag link. So with this particular one, with the lift, we've got a drop drag link. The standard drag link, the angle's too excessive once you lift the vehicle too much. Now from that J-arm, it basically comes to the tie rod here, which we've got our rock rod that goes to the other wheel, and that's it. It's as basic as that. So now the problems that we've had in the past is the J-arm breaks the ball just here, and the cups in the drag link wear out, give you a lot of grief when it comes to your turns in competitions, a lot of play in the steering wheel. So we're going to do a repair on that. We're going to put a kit through that drag link. This is an adjustable drop drag link. It's from Roadrunner Off-Road, and they do all the repair bits and pieces for that drag link. They do J-arms, they do pitman arms. But coming back to this, what I want to show you is, as you can see just on this quick little sketch here, so when you've got your standard height vehicle, you've got the J-arm and the pitman arm point to point, and that's your straight drag link. When we lift them, the pitman arm ball and the J-arm ball are much further apart, so that angle on the straight drag link becomes too excessive, and that's where we need the drop drag link to take up that angle. So these two things are always in my toolbox. A new J-arm, as you remember us breaking that one down at 6 stage, and a pitman arm. Now the pitman arm probably not as easy to change as a drag link, believe it or not, but we've got it there in case that ball does snap. But 90% of the time it'll be the J-arm. Now when these things break, and I've had a couple break on me in competition and socially, I've got one up there with the trophies, and it's basically a snap that you can feel through the back of your bones, and then at the same time simultaneously you lose your feel of the steering wheel. So the steering wheel just all of a sudden just goes, so you're holding on the steering wheel, you're climbing the rocks, and all of a sudden the bang, simultaneously with just the steering wheel just having nothing. Right, no steering. Two different ends, both similar features. There's your spring from your old one, spring from your new one. So even the spring loses its tension. Where the plate comes from, it's in the cup. Let me show you. So you can clearly see that's the new one. It's quite a nice half circle, and then when they wear out, that's what happens. They start to chip on that edge there, and that's what gives the play in and out on the ball. That's where you get this in and out play. So we've got all the internals cleaned out. We've got the components here to start putting back in. On the one side, the two half cups go in first, facing one another, and then you've got your threaded, you've got your compression spring which holds the tension, and on the opposite side you'll see that the hole's closer to the outside edge. The spring will go in first, and then the two half cups, again their job to hold the ball. Now that's ready to fit on the truck. The other thing I'm going to be showing you is you've got to make sure your wheels are straight, also that the pitman arm is in the correct location. So I'll show you how to center your steering wheel in the box and that way you know when you've hooked all this up that the pitman arm and the steering wheel will give you equal left and equal right hand turns. Okay, so that's the pitman arm. That's the arm that comes off the steering box. Generally should be running 12 to 6 o'clock, the way it is, but we're going to center that box before we fit the drop drag link, and I'll show you how. So there's nothing connected at the moment. We can freely turn the wheel with nothing happening. The only thing happening is the pitman arms moving backwards and forwards. So what we want to do, we're going to go full lock left and hold it. Get a bit of red tape or anything, a marker, texter. Stick that at 12 o'clock. Then we count how many times we pass 12 o'clock again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 and a half. So 4 3/4. That's how many full revolutions the steering wheel does on that one box. Just a little bit over 4 1/2. So half of that is 2 1/4. So what we'll do is we'll go back 1, 2. That's 2 since the center, and then 1/4. So roughly my steering wheel is out again. But that's the easy part. You just take the steering wheel off and put it on straight. As things bend underneath, J-arms especially, every time we go wheeling, the steering wheel comes out in a different position. So I'm going to go down there. I'm not going to touch the wheel. We're going to have a look where that pitman arm is in relation to the steering box. And it's exactly 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So that's basically the center of your box, because obviously it's going to move that way when you go left hand down and this way when you go right hand down. So you want that up and down so it travels. But so mine must have been out a little bit because my steering wheel was straight, so something was obviously bent, or these cups, when they start to wear and you nip them up, you're pulling things together. So we've got the steering set straight now. Now what we've got to do is get that wheel back on in the straight position. I've got the shovel down there wedging that so it won't turn, because there's nothing holding the steering, the wheels straight now. So we'll get that straight. We know the pitman arm is in the right position. Then we basically just join the dots with that drop drag link. All right, so we've got that side in there. Basically, it's gone in there and seated. And then up this end, what we'll have to do is push that pitman arm towards the cab, just enough to get it in the hole. With that there, this should just pop in now. One-handed, okay. Okay, now we need to get that pitman arm back to 6 o'clock at the bottom and tie off that steering wheel so it doesn't move while we're putting in the final half cups and adjustment screw. Alright, so it never locks where you want it to lock. It locks 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, but never where that. Anyway, we've got a rope tied up, so we're basically stopping the steering wheel from moving until it gets a bit tight. You can see those cups starting to bind the ball. That's the front one. That's the back one. The back one's got a touch. Well, what we've got to do, we've got to take it around the block and then put the split pins in. This is a good example of how much that drop drag link does work at full stretch. Well, that was as good a drive around the block test as you'll get. So, driven a couple of Ks. What we're going to do, stick it down there. This is the test. This is to see how much play there is after the initial install, front and back. And then what we do, we'll nip them up. And it's felt really good though anyway with the steering. So Roadrunner, for all your drop drag links, repair kits, thanks for watching.